Welcome, everyone. My name is Marilyn. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator coming to you from Spruce Grove, Alberta, Canada. I'm so happy you've joined me tonight on Thursday, February 26th. We're just about done February, which is hard to believe. The days just seem to go faster and faster. As you can see in the chat, please let us know where you're watching from and how you've been doing. I just love having everyone here, whether you're coming back or whether you've been here before. You're always welcome. I have a few things to share about that are happening with Stampin' Up, and I'll show you those when I get down to my desktop. And also, I'm sure you've heard, if you've been on social media at all, there are some big changes coming to Stampin' Up! Things. We are going to have 3 catalogs a year, not an annual plus minis. So we'll only have one place to look. So that's really exciting. I'm looking forward to that. And starting with the new in colors that will be introduced in May, we will be having magnetic ink pads. The top and bottom will be 2 separate pieces, and they will be magnetic. So of course, they'll cost a little more because of the magnets and whatever, but exciting to see what those are like. I know my other pads still work, and I'll probably stick with them. But anyway, just to let you know that they're in the works. So I see people hopping on: Bonnie, Gail, Sharon, Betty, Pam. Good to see all of you. And I'm going to switch to the desktop and show you these things. And then I do have a card that I want to show you how to make. So you can see Painted Illusions. That is the product of the month for February. So just about over. I didn't check today if it's available because all of these product of the month items are available while supplies last. So hopefully, if you've had an order, you have to have an order in Canada, an order of $100 or more, you can buy this for $5. So it's a great way to increase your paper stash, right? And we all, sorry, just reading a comment. Sharon, will there be a holder for the new stamp pads? I understand they will fit in the holders we have now, as far as the information that we've got. And I think if you check online, you're a demonstrator, Sharon, so you can look on the website. And there's information, and there is a video about them there. So that's where all I've seen. So just go ahead and do that. So Painted Illusions, and we also have heard, and I think I have a post scheduled for tomorrow, that the next product of the month is going to be a stamp set. Bonus days, only today and tomorrow, to use your coupons that you earned in January. And hopefully you've still got the email with those codes so that you can use them, because you don't want to waste any money, right? So please remember to do that. Hello, Marie from stormy northern Alberta. Yes, we had a storm go through here about 4 o'clock, and it was lots of wind and blowing and snow and sleet and whatever, and then it disappeared. But I understand from Betty's comment earlier on YouTube that Calgary's supposed to be getting it. So, and the last but not least is the join offer that's happening until March 3rd, 2nd. I always get the date wrong. You can see it right there though, March 2nd. You are able to get, if you join, you don't have to do anything else. Pay $135, get $165 in product, which can be some of the new online exclusives that are coming out soon. And you will get the Stampin' Positioner for free. And I happen to have it here. I'm just going to show it to you, and then I am going to use it in the card I'm going to make tonight. So I'll move all my pieces of stuff. This is what it looks like. Hopefully you can see it. There is a smaller plate, which connects on these pegs as well. So you can do strip or step stamping, I guess as we call it. Plus there's the bigger plate, and that's the one I'll be using tonight. There are magnets. There are double-sided grid paper. So this is imperial, this is metric, and that you do have to order separate. That does not come with the positioner that you would get in your starter kit. So you can see or maybe you can't, but I will lay it here on the grid paper. It's about 8 inches by 10 inches. So it's not huge, easy to carry, quite lightweight. And I think I mentioned one other time, but just a reminder, the magnets do stick to the back of here. It's somewhat magnetized even on the back. So if you lose them, look there first. So now, I don't see any other questions I really need to get to, so I'm going to start. The package of paper I'm using tonight is the beautiful Gallery 6x6. And sometime there, my camera's going to adjust and look at it. This paper is gorgeous. It comes 48 sheets and there's 12 patterns. So you get 4 of each. And I'll just quickly flip through them in case you haven't seen them or don't remember them. I've done quite a bit with this one. And I have a special project to show you at the end of tonight that I've done with some of these. There's some you could stamp on them. And the backs, of course, are all different. This one, you would have to, well, I'll show you something about how to cut them. But it's a gorgeous package of paper. So 48 sheets. And lots of different scenes. And lots of them you could probably stamp on. So I've got a couple samples I made of this card that I'll show you at the end, plus the special project. So those on the way, and share with you what I'm going to make. It's going to be with this piece of paper. I'm going to start with 8.5 by 5.5 cardstock, and this is can pie. So I'm going to get my pieces in order. First of all, I'm going to fold it in half, like we usually do, and try to get it straight. I've learned that if I put my fingers here, push my thumbs back and out, I get a much better fold. I'm sure all of you have your own specialty. Hello, Yvonne. Welcome from Kentucky. Good to see you. DSP a binder full of DSP that's too pretty to cut. Yes. Yeah, don't we all? I have a whole stack. If you, when I'm on the camera facing me, you can probably see my paper rack that I keep all my paper in, and it is quite full. So after you fold it, what you want to do is cut off 1 1/4 inches off the front. And this design was done by Sunny Day Stamping. I just thought it was really a nice design to use for this kind of paper. So I'm going to cut off 1 1/4. And that piece I'm going to score at 3.5. And we will use it later. Then this piece that has now a short front, I'm going to emboss this. And I'll show you that because we have to do something that we don't normally do with embossing folders. I'm using this new one, the Stone and Vine. So it's got some very detailed stones and vines. And because I wanted to emboss only this half piece, I have to put it in this way. And I'm going to just make sure my edge is right along the edge. Close it up. And then normally we tell you put the fold in first. Well, you can see that's not going to work. So for this one, I am going to put it in sideways. Plate 3, my embossing folder, plate 4, and no, mistaken, don't need plate 3. No, I do need plate 3. I just have to get it started. And because it's on here. It's going to shake the table. Whoops, and now I moved the card. Anyway, I do have one done. I'm going to use it instead of this, but that is how you end up getting only the half of the card embossed. Okay? And because I've got to show you the different technique for cutting that, I will use my piece that's already embossed. See? Isn't that great? Hello, Kathleen. So then I want a piece of, well, it's not interesting. I don't have a cut. I need another piece of cardstock, 4 3/4 by 3 1/2 for backing. Because I want to have a layer behind here. So that's going to go on there. My paper here is going to go here. And I have a piece of Berry Vanilla that's going to go on this side. So to cut this, and this is something that Sunny Day Stamping showed us as well, and I do have another template. I've cut a piece of window sheet, 4 1/2 by 3 1/4, and that's what I want. So I'm going to lay it on here and figure out, oh, I want it to go this way. Which area do I want to have cut for my piece on there? And in my case, I do want to stamp across the top, and I'm going to use the positioner for that. So I'm going to place it right about there. And again, I need to cut in this case, it doesn't have to be exact, but I want it up a little bit higher, so I'm going to cut off about 3/4 of an inch there. And then my length is 4 1/2. And now I need this to be 3 1/4. I want these things, so I'm going to do it 3 1/4 this way. I don't know if you can see what I'm doing, but so there is my piece that will go on there after I do my stamping. So to do the stamping, I'm going to bring in the positioner. I'm going to place my paper along the two, that just happens to be my choice, and right up against these pegs. I'm going to put my magnets on, and I'm going to use this Happy Birthday from With You in Mind. And hello everyone, please keep chatting. I love seeing your comments on there. I'm going to put it right about there and pick it up with the positioner. That's the hard word, isn't it? And yes, it does move the paper a little bit, but because I know that I had it right along the two and pushed up to those pegs, I can put it back where I had it. Then I'm going to take my ink and I turn this over. I'm just going to ink my stamp, put it down, and it's not touching the paper yet. It doesn't touch the paper until you actually push down on it. I'm going to push down, straight down, hold it, and it's fine. If I want it darker, looks like it could be a little bit darker. I have the feeling my ink pad probably needs re-inking. That's the other thing. In the new ink pads that I talked about earlier, they are going to be this kind again. They are going to be the felt ones. And as you can see, they last a long time because I'm still using this one. And I do have an ink refill. I always buy an ink refill when I buy a stamp pad. Oh, much better, much better. But because the positioner puts it in the same place, you can see that I was able to restamp. And that's exciting for me. Okay, so the stamping is done. And I can put this on here. And get ready for doing the inside of the card. So I have a bit of a border. Hold it up so you can see. Bonnie says she's used the positioner to stamp 16 thank yous for a class, and it worked perfect. That's awesome, Bonnie. Good news. So that's going to go on the front, but before we do that, we want to take our piece that we, whatever one it was, that we scored at 3.5. Make sure it's burnished. Make sure I scored it right. Yes. And it's going to go kind of as a flap. It's going to go under here, and then it will come over here. And then I do have a piece here that I'm going to stamp just by hand. I'm going to put some hearts on it, or stars, something. What do you think I should do? Stars, hearts, leaves. You've seen the card. So to put this on, and while I'm waiting for you to tell me, hello, Karen. Yes, you have this package intact. I have quite a few pieces on this one, but so I'm going to just attach this towards the bottom because my words are on the top there. The card that Sunny Day Stamping did, and I'll show you on the other two that I've got as samples. Leaves is what I see first, and then hearts. Maybe I could do leaves and hearts. She stamped words on this piece that's going to go on the top. And you'll see the difference, and then you can tell me what you like better. This week I have managed to get all my cards written for March birthdays, so that's a real plus for me. Get them done so I can mail them out in time. So before I do that, I am going to stamp on here. Hearts, 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 leaves. I don't think. Just a minute. Let's look at it. If I do, couple hearts, couple leaves. I think it's a tie. I hate making decisions like that, don't you guys? Let's just see what I can come up with. I'm going to use Wilsey Meadow is the green that's in this paper. And of course red wouldn't be red without real red, right? Betty mailed her March cards earlier this week. Most of them were out of town. Well, I mailed some today, but I do try to I don't know. I do try to mail my cards so they arrive right around the birthday, so. Not impressed with that. I think I'm going to go back and just do the leaf. Very heart requests. That's going to fit better with our color scheme, I think. So then, once you have that, what I did, well, first of all, I'm going to put this on, and I'm going to put it on with dimensionals. Do you use lots of dimensionals in your card making? I've been working on a scrapbook from the kit that Stampin' Up sold back in July. And one of the ladies that teaches is the dimensional queen. She has dimensionals all over. And one of her reasons, and it makes sense, put it a little bit closer to there, was that if she was putting a page or a picture inside a scrapbook, the weight of the scrapbook is going to make it sink down. So she would have a card like this, she would have all the way around and all up and down in the center for dimensionals. It was like, oh my goodness. So anyway, when I go to put this on here, that's where I want it to be. So I'm going to turn it over. And because it's embossed, I am going to use liquid glue. I was watching somebody today, I don't remember who, and I'm just going to glue up to this edge. Or I read, maybe it was a post on Facebook, asking, what do you use when you do over embossing? And a lot of people suggested, and I've never done that because I haven't really had a problem with it coming apart, but a lot of people suggested using the tear and tape. And I thought, well, yes, that would make sense too. So there is the card. And I'm going to find some kind of embellishments because I think it needs it. So, bear with me because I didn't have that pulled out, but I like these faux bronze pentagons. They're my new go-to one because they're brand new. Aren't they a neat shape? And I'm going to add a few of those. Different sizes. Right up there on the eye for the birthday. The other two cards